Nah, don't worry about it right now.
Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. You're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you so much. Make sure you check out our website, hollywoodmatrimony.com, and go find us everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Sorry.
I don't know what you're doing. Let me hit mute on mine before something happens.
Well, I couldn't hit mute because it wasn't on.
All right, friends. As always, we have a variety of movies to talk about, and this week it's kind of a strange variety, which I like. I like when this happens.
Do you?
When we have so many different things to talk about. I do like it. Hi, little dog.
Do you, though?
I really do. Okay. Oh, goodness.
What?
Thank you. Okay, good. Just I'm working on this conference, so okay, I don't know what my travel dates are, but then it ended up being
Is
fun.
this about Hollywood matrimony?
It's not, so
And
it
no
doesn't
one
matter.
cares.
Okay, let me go share, because that's what you're supposed to be doing right now. Go like, go share, go tell everyone you know. Send hearts, send bubbles. I don't know what else you do, but do all that stuff. Hey, it says Hollywood Matrimony is live right now, babe.
You think?
Yeah. I'm going to go share, girl. I hate how this happens now. Like, I want to be me. I gotta be me. But I want to share
But
from
that's
me.
all you can be, is
I
you.
know.
And sometimes it's just not enough.
Hey, it's always enough.
Is it so?
I think so. All right. I should tell my friends. They'll ignore us. But they're going to be like, oh, I'm
We're just going to
busy.
watch us do this well.
Okay, friends.
For an hour and a
Are
half.
you ready to talk about some stuff?
Whenever you go.
All right. I was sharing. That's what we're supposed to do.
Fine.
Rude.
I said that's fine. I said go.
Rude. Okay, what movie do you want to start with today?
Wherever you want to start with, my fancy wife.
Well, we're going to just go this way then and see what happens. Let's talk about this. I don't think I've even added it. So let me share my screen. Are you ready?
Sure.
Let's talk about this movie with this beautiful face right here on the screen.
Is it a picture of me?
Yes, this is the new Jeepers Creepers, and it is called Jeepers Creepers Reborn. What was that sigh for?
All right. Guys, let me tell you the annoyance level of this film.
Aww.
It has nothing to do with the movie. It's this one. You can't say the title of this movie, its previous films, or anything else without her breaking into the song and doing a stupid dance. We got to where we couldn't even mention the movie. It had to be, hey, you want to watch that new movie about the creature? Because if you say it, it starts happening. And I'm trying not to say it again.
It's okay.
All right. So for those of you who don't know,
I don't know.
This is technically the fourth film in the franchise.
Yes.
But I do know that there's a lot of stigma against the previous film because of the director.
Part 3 specifically, or all?
No, he did all three.
Oh,
he did all three original films. So when the first one came out in 2001,
that's Justin Long, a young
Justin Long, and the movie Jeepers Creepers, and it was
Jeepers Creepers. Where'd you get those peepers?
You can't do that to this whole.
Okay, I won't. Okay. I just did it that once because in that first movie, he's on the phone with the black lady. And
I know.
She's like, get out. So get out now.
The first movie introduced us to the creeper, this new creature, this winged creature that comes back every 25 years or something like that to feed. A director, Victor Salva. Yeah, Victor Salva. At the time, nobody knew about his issues or whatever. But by the time the third film came out, so the second movie I want to say is okay. It's been so long since I watched it.
I don't remember.
The third one's not good at all.
Were the creature effects even good? I don't think I've only seen one.
It's been so long since I've watched the third
have
one.
to go watch them.
And the third one's not that old. It's just a few years old.
It was 2017.
Yeah, so it's not that old. It's just I don't remember. It felt. I think the third one, if I remember correctly, felt more like an independent film. It's a lower budget. By this point, too,
we knew.
People knew about the drama.
Allegations.
It wasn't alleged. He went to prison.
Okay, so he was convicted.
Yeah, there was conduct with I believe it was sexual conduct with a minor. But look him up. His name is Victor Salva. If you don't know, don't quote me on that because I don't want to be held liable for saying this was not true, but you can look up whatever it is. So anyway, a lot of people were really vocal. I remember when the third one came out, a lot of people were like, I will not watch this movie because of him. I'm not supporting him, blah, 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 blah. And then they suddenly came out with this new one called Jeepers Creepers Reborn. It is in no way connected to him. It's actually director, I don't know if I can say his name right, Timo Vurensola, who is also the director of Iron Sky, I believe.
Who?
Iron Sky. Let me double check. Yeah, Iron Sky. Okay. Iron Sky is the one about the Nazis on the moon. The
Nazis on the moon, which
I love. Iron Sky, and it's cheesy, it's goofy. I don't know if he did Iron Sky 2 or not.
Timo Vurensola,
I think is what he's like. Anyway, he's taken over it. It's a reboot of the franchise. He actually, they're said that he's planned a trilogy with this one.
Nice.
I don't know if it's going to happen or not. So first, get that stigma out of the way. If you're not wanting to watch this because of Salva, this film is not attached to him. Now, who knows if he owned the rights to the characters and made any money off this movie because they were his characters, or if the studio owned them.
I don't know.
I don't know that part. Can't say. But this new one, Jeepers Creepers Reborn, was actually put out initially through a Fathom Events special screening thing. And then it opened in limited release this past Friday.
Yeah.
So we're back with a new group, new story, new creature. So they actually changed up the creeper a little bit.
Yeah, it was...
his design, the story's changed up a little bit. Even the context of what he does is a little bit. But I think I'm assuming that a lot of that was trying to separate it away from the original.
Correct.
And make it an original thing.
Yeah, and I guess the thing that's a little bit in your face in this movie is that right away we're straight to the creature. You know, there's no hiding. There's no, it's a surprise if you've never seen any of it, but it's just like straight to the creature and what he's doing. And I'm like, that's kind of part of the joy of a horror movie is the unraveling of the story to your creature, to what he's doing with people. And is he killing them? Is he kidnapping them? Is he eating them?
I would agree with you that if this was the first time.
Okay.
But it's kind of the thing of now people get tired of when you know the creature, you've seen the creature, the characters numerous times. It's like watching Nightmare on Elm Street 4. You don't want a slow build up to get to Freddy. We know Freddy. We need Freddy. Give me Freddy now. Even though this is a reboot, you want to get to the point.
Well, they go straight for the creature, guys. It's just there.
This thing, I don't know how I feel about the direction they went with this one. As a whole, the movie's not great.
I'm there for the creature.
It tried.
That's what I'm there for, and it looks good.
The creature design looks okay. It's not as cool as the original. There's a little too much explanation.
Yes.
For my liking.
Well, that's what I was telling you. It's just like in your face of like what he's doing.
I like the fact that when you see more often than not these characters, I'm not a fan of explanation of these kind of creatures, and like I would have been fine never knowing anything about Freddy other than, you know, he's the son of 10,000 maniacs or whatever, or 100,000 maniacs, and then leave it at that. I don't need the backstory of that. Huh?
1,000?
I know. I'm just saying. I don't.
I mean, you went overboard. Dang, that poor lady would not have survived that.
No, have you seen that guy? But you know, they could have done it simple, just like with the. I don't think the story needed to be changed.
Oh, and we're both off. It's 100. She wouldn't have. She wouldn't have survived. She wouldn't have survived the 1,000 either.
It's a situation of telephone. After so many years of watching it in different movies.
Which movie was that?
Of what?
100. Keep going. Sorry.
Stop going in the wrong direction. We don't digress. You digress. Anyway, I don't remember what the hell I was saying. Go ahead.
You said it's a situation like that.
That doesn't help anything that I'm saying.
We can go watch the replay.
Just talk.
Anyways, I liked the creature design. It was different. Like I said, I don't like that it's all just revealed in your face. I think the other thing I don't like are the townspeople in this, because there's a lot more going on this time with where we're at and how it's happening. I don't know that it necessarily made sense.
Well, the problem is too is it kind of pops up, and at first it seems super cheese, but then because you got Dee Wallace and I don't remember the guy's name,
the older man,
kind of the opening attack, if you will, and then you realize that that's not even part of the movie. That's something else, which was that thought was clever.
Yeah.
If I don't know if you caught that or not, but
I did.
Okay, I'll explain it to you later. Okay. I don't want to spoil it. But I thought the way they handled that opening was clever, and then nothing happens for a long time.
Huh.
Did you just say, huh? Like you don't know what I'm talking about?
I know, they're just driving along.
Like they
then these kids are driving along.
I'm not talking about that.
No, they're driving. Then the kids are driving.
But it's going into their story and everything else. Like it shows the creature kind of doing stuff and popping around, but it's too much. It's like it's showing us where the creature gets his clothes. It's showing us where, get in the truck. And so I don't need to see all this. Just get to the point. It feels like it was trying to do too much.
I'm telling you, it's okay.
I'm glad it exists because I love this creature. Like this one obviously is, like I said, is not as good as the original, but it's still a cool design. And these movies are not for the aesthetics of great filmmaking. It's to watch these creatures kill people.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the CGI wasn't that great. There was a lot of little things that kept knocking it down a level. The third act, when you finally get to the point of all of them being slaughtered, it gets a little more entertaining. But even
that middle section, I think, was a little difficult to watch. I mean, it was a little slow.
Boring.
That's what I'm saying. It's a little slow, and for your creature feature, you want more. Like, and
especially I think that's why not that long.
And I think that's why if you start off with like his mundane tasks of this is what he's doing, this is where if you start with that, it's like, oh, okay. I'd rather start off with some mysterious killings and stuff, and then we get that, and then you come back to the big battle.
But it kind of show for the initial killing thing, but like we're also in a universe that the creeper exists. Like everyone knows. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's not like the other movie
where there's a festival every year.
Yeah, it's not like in the other movie where nobody knows what the hell this thing is and what's going on.
I'm just gonna tell you right now.
In this case, it's in existence, and apparently the Horror Hound Festival that they're going to is a real convention.
Oh my gosh!
And but it's not outside like that. It's the real a con, Frightmare kind of thing, and they agreed to be a part of it. If I understood that correctly,
that's fine. I'm just telling you right now. Don't take me to some little town that has a commemoration every year of a creature that kills people.
That would be
I'm
awesome.
not going.
I'd go to that
because that means there's some fact there, and somebody's gonna die. You're gonna die tonight.
I'd go to that.
Nothing.
Anyway, I don't know if we're gonna get a trilogy out of this. I really dug the poster. I really dug the idea. I do like the franchise, even though there's only really one good movie in the franchise. I do applaud them for trying to do something new.
Yeah.
And trying to find a way, because that's a great character. The Creeper is a great character that just can't seem to catch a break.
Did you tell me about this?
I told you about this already, and you went like this. Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, okay.
I did not know.
And then you just ignore me because you're dumb, but you can't watch it because you don't have AMC+.
All right then.
Moving on.
Next,
Jeepers Creepers Reborn is available in select theaters, and let's please move on so this will stop. Let's do the next one.
It's this movie. You've got to tell me about this movie. I'm so excited.
All right,
I'm excited to watch it.
This is actually a pretty divided.
That people like it or they don't.
Yeah, and it's Rob Zombie's latest movie, which is a big screen adaptation of the Munsters. Now, when I say big screen, it was actually a streaming thing. So I want to put some stuff on the table here. For some of the people that may or may not know, I'm a massive Rob Zombie fan, both in music.
What?
Both in music. I was a fan of White
That's
Zombie.
Surprising.
I was a fan of some of his solo stuff, and I love pretty much every movie he's ever made. Yes, Halloween 1 and 2 as well. I recognize some of the flaws in certain things, but I enjoy them. This is a total different thing for Rob Zombie. He's done animation with The Haunted World of El Super Beasto, but even that was still adult. This is a PG film.
Right.
right? He is a massive, massive, massive fan of the Munsters. He's been wanting to do this for years and years. He's finally gotten to make it. I just read an article. One of my biggest gripes with the movie would have been, I think it would have been way better in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And I never understood why somebody that's big a fan would make a colored Munsters movie. Although there are movies, there were like a few Munsters features,
movie.
Munsters Go
the
Home
TV
and some other ones that were Technicolored, at the time. And I just literally just read an article that said he was told specifically by the studio, you cannot make a black and white movie.
What?
So
that's too bad.
He put the kibosh on him. So he thought, okay, if I can't make a black and white movie, I'm going to make it as psychedelic, colorful as possible.
It is.
And it looks very much like some of his music videos. Kind of an acid trip, if you will.
Yeah.
And I actually think it works perfect. It gives the movie very more of a cartoon feel. It feels like you're watching a live action cartoon. Now, these are iconic characters that are really, there's no way anybody's going to be able to replace Fred Gwynn and Al Lewis and these people as these characters. But I will say that I think the cast did phenomenal.
Good.
If anybody is the weakest link, it would probably be Sherry Moon Zombie, his wife, who's not the strongest actress anyway. She's in every movie he makes. Right. But I mean, it's his wife.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, people can talk trash about it all you want, but, at the end of the day...
That's who you go home with.
That's right. But she's fine. I think the problem, with a lot of people have with this movie, I hear a lot of people saying, well, I don't think it captured the essence of the Munsters. I don't think it was this. I don't think it was that. And everybody's entitled to their opinion. I had a blast with this movie. Does it all work? No. It's kind of... pacing's off a little bit at some point. It drags a little bit in the middle. But it's the movie I expected. It's stupid. It's silly. It's ridiculous. It looks like everybody's having a blast.
So you mean like the TV show?
Yes, it's the exact same thing as the show, and I don't understand.
The show's a little bit duh.
I don't think...
Because Herman's duh.
He is. He's a moron.
He doesn't get it.
And this story is the lead up. This is all about basically the relationship of Herman and Lily, of them meeting and getting together, getting married. Nice. With the movie ending of them getting the house on Mockingbird Lane, which is crazy because Rob Zombie had been posting all this stuff about they completely from ground up rebuilt the house on Mockingbird Lane, cool. And the house is only in the movie for like 3 minutes.
Wow!
And I'm like, I figured the whole movie was for the amount they spend, but there's some clever uses of characters like Count Orlok, which is Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Wolfman, all these different characters. Pat Priest, who was one of the Marylands, I believe, and Butch Patrick, who was Eddie Munster, both have cameos in the movie, although you may not see them because Eddie Munster actually plays a robot, so he's in a big robot suit. Elvira's in the movie, but not as Elvira, Cassandra Peterson. There's all kinds of little nuances that take from the show, take from the movies, take from all these different things, and they're compiled into this one just silly, goofy thing that is everything the Munsters was. And that's why I'm kind of confused about people's hatred of the movie. People are saying it's dull, it's stupid. Not all the jokes work. I get that. But if you watch an episode of the Munsters, you don't like the Munsters.
I don't, because it's too dumb.
That's the point. I don't like That's why I don't think you'll like this movie.
I want to see it. Though,
I know, but I don't think you would like the movie because you don't like the Munsters.
I don't like Herman Munster.
Well, and I hate he is the same with Jeff.
Does he do the?
He does. He's not as good. He's not as good at the laugh. Was it Jeff Daniel Phillips? Hold on, make sure. Let's say his name right. Where's he at? Yes, Jeff Daniel Phillips, who's also a Rob Zombie alum. Some of the other films.
Oh, wow.
Plays him. And what's funny is he posted a thing. Was it him? No, that was Daniel Roebuck, who plays Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
He steals the movie. He is the best of them all. He's got Grandpa down to an art. And you've seen Daniel Roebuck. I
do like them. I do like Grandpa.
Huh?
I always like the Grandpa.
Daniel Roebuck, you've seen in other stuff. He's been in everything. But he posted a thing on about when he was a kid, doing parties and stuff as a Dracula character. And being a big fan of the Munsters and now getting to play Grandpa was his dream come true, And Jeff Daniel Phillips, I think there's moments he sounds exactly like Fred Gwynn.
That's cool.
He doesn't nail the laugh all the time.
Right.
I think all of them nailed the mannerisms. Even Sherry Moon Zombie managed a lot of this thing that Lily always did, and is it annoying? Of course it is. It's stupid. But this movie is everything I thought it was going to be.
There you go.
It's a little too long. I don't think for this kind of movie it needed to be as long as it is, and I think that's why it drags. But I just don't get it. This is one of those movies that baffles me. Like, I get you either like this movie or you don't because of what it is, but I don't understand that people that love the Munsters,
would just
they would not get it. Because I've seen other people say, we watched the Munsters, it wasn't funny, it was boring, it was dumb. That's the show.
That's the whole point of the show.
But at the same time, I can also see people can't let certain things go. They can't replace. But here's the thing: this is not the first time somebody did a new version of the Munsters. There's been numerous other TV shows. There was a couple of different TV reboots with different actors. There was an animated series. There's been other stuff, and none of it ever worked. And to my opinion, this probably works. But did you know there's even a Jerry O'Connell Munster series that they tried to do? I think it was a CW. They tried to do a Munsters series, but it was a little more, I don't want to say a drama, but it was a little more, not as dumb, but it had Jerry O'Connell in it. I don't remember if he plays Herman or if he plays Grandpa or what he was, but it was a whole different take of the whole thing. So,
but I think, though, the reason I think the Munsters worked in the beginning is because it's in the 60s, right? Yeah. And, it's major, I think, basis for existing was the making fun of the Mom and Pearls and that whole, so it was making fun of that idea, which is what everyone was used to seeing on TV. Leave It to Beavers and all those
also
kinds of
that
things.
It lives in a world where
that
they exist and it's normal and they don't understand.
Correct.
For as smart as Grandpa and Lily and them are compared to Herman, none of them are smart enough to realize that they're the ones that are the weirdos.
Right.
They think everybody else is weird. And why are they acting so bizarre?
But if you look back at it now to then, Leave It to Be, like June Cleaver vacuuming in her high heels and pearls is weird.
It is.
The Munsters are probably more normal now than the Munsters. The Munsters are probably more normal now, as from our viewpoint.
This is your Maleficent.
It's Maleficent.
I know.
Anyways, I'm just saying, Munsters. I think that's just the whole reason why it worked then, because it was funny and people got the joke.
Yeah.
That Leave It to Beaver and whoever, my father knows better, that it was too perfect. And everything was always wrapped up at the end.
In this show, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. Like, I will watch this movie again. I had a blast with it.
I want to try to watch it.
And I hope it did. It seemed to be doing well enough in the numbers, and they were smart because the other big controversy that everybody had with the beginning, the first trailer that came out was a teaser, was genius. It was black and white, and it was a recreation of the opening credits. And busting through the door, and everybody coming out. Everybody loved it. Then when they released the actual trailer, it wasn't a good trailer. Like, even I'd like, oh my God, this looks like trash. But when I saw the film in context and put together, I'm like, okay, I actually get it. I was a little hesitant. I get what he was doing. I can feel his love in that movie. Like, and I think, like somebody else posted earlier today that said they watched and they said, there was no respect for the characters. There was no love for the characters. And it could be further from the truth. You could see whoever put that movie together look, because there's little details that a fair weather fan of the Munsters, myself included, because as much as I love the show, I'm not that obsessed with it, that they wouldn't even know. It's like this little thing in the back that was from this episode that's put here just because they knew that. And there's this outfit they put on them because it was from this episode that he loved, and he wanted to use that for the scene. And there's little things that just are the nuances and essence of the series and the innocence of it all, while it's still being a monster show. I don't understand how people don't get it, but at the same time, I totally understand why people don't get it, because people get what they want to get.
Yeah.
And I went into it expecting to be disappointed after the trailer, and forget the fact I'm a Rob Zombie fan. This looks very much like a Rob Zombie movie because of the color palette. But I enjoyed it. Does it all work? No. Is it perfect? No. But I had a blast with it. And if you didn't, I'm sorry. But I've seen a lot of other people that said, my buddy Freddie, who's big into horror films and stuff, he thought he had a blast with it too. So clearly I'm not the only one.
Well,
something they did smart with this. There was a big controversy after it. I say controversy a lot today. There was a big brouhaha.
Oh my gosh.
About the film because it was announced they were making it, doing the trailer. Then they said it was announced it was coming to Netflix, and everybody's like, "Oh, the movie sucks so bad it's going to Netflix."
That's where the money is, friends.
Well, it was Rob Zombie himself came out and said this movie was always intended for streaming. It was never going to get a theatrical release, and even the branch of Universal that is putting it out is the home media release version. It's not thing, but what they did because they know that Netflix isn't everywhere.
Yeah.
They actually simultaneously released it on Blu-ray and DVD and Netflix at the same time.
Oh, that's cool.
So that all of it
everybody
came out at the once. So if you don't have Netflix or can't get Netflix, you could go rent it, buy it, whatever. If you can still rent movies, and have
There's still Redbox or some sort of a movie thing I see somewhere.
So, anyway, I had a blast with the movie. I apologize if you didn't like it, and if you don't, that's fine. We'll talk about something that you probably did love in a minute that I'm about to bash. So the Munsters from Rob Zombie is available now, and it is fun for the whole family.
There you go.
That's not something you get to say about a Rob Zombie movie very often.
That is true too.
Or ever.
But some of his movies are fun for the whole family. It's just a disturbed family that likes blood and guts.
No. This is the only movie he's ever made.
That'd be our family.
This is the only movie he's ever made that's okay for the whole family.
That'd be our family making the kids watch horror movies.
Yeah.
Which they like horror movies. They don't necessarily like Daniel didn't necessarily like blood and guts, which I did. And every time we would do that, I made spaghetti and meatballs.
We always happen to be making. I don't think it was ever planned. It just always happened. We'd be watching something gory, wearing spaghetti, and he'd be like,
All right. Do you want to go to this one, or you want to go to something else?
Yeah, let's go. That was on pissing people off.
All right. Let's continue with our horror movies.
What's our next film?
Our next film is Hocus Pocus 2. I said it was a horror movie. It's not. It is a Halloween themed movie. And I think we need to be very careful with that. One of my friends posted, like, what's your favorite Halloween movie? Mine's Practical Magic. I'm like, that is not a Halloween movie. That's a movie that happens during Halloween, which is the same about this.
Let me put this out to you then, because
I think horror movies are Halloween.
Somebody else we know posted today, or maybe yesterday or the day before, an interesting kind of in the same context of an argument her and her husband were having about is A Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie? She believes it's a.
I think it's Christmas.
I think she says it was a Christmas movie that happens to take place in Halloween, or I don't remember who said what, but
isn't he trying to take over
Christmas Town?
He's trying to take over Christmas.
Yes, he's trying to take over Christmas, but the whole thing is Halloween because they're different towns. Because you've seen the movie,
Halloween. Right? That's what I'm saying. Does it happen during Halloween or does it happen during Christmas and he's trying to take over?
It happens during Christmas because he's trying to take over Christmas.
It's a Christmas movie. Put it in there with like Santa Claus or.
What about Die Hard and Lethal Weapon?
Those are Christmas movies.
But aren't they action movies that just take place during Christmas?
They take place during Christmas.
So that's the argument, the ongoing argument. Anyway,
I guess, but Halloween to me is horror.
I got
and sometimes Hocus Pocus 2. All right, Hocus Pocus 2 is obviously the sequel to the original film of the same name, Hocus Pocus. It stars Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy, who is the redeeming quality of all movies. All right. I love Bette Midler. I like pretty much most of the things she does, and I do like her in these movies.
Do you like Fried Green Tomatoes? Is she in that movie? I don't know if she's in that movie or not.
That's the other redheaded lady. Yeah.
I don't know.
Gina Davis, maybe?
I don't think Gina Davis is in
Fried Green Tomatoes. I don't know who's in Fried Green Tomatoes.
I don't
Why
care.
would I know that?
I just threw that out. It just sounds like a movie you would watch.
But then you like, it's Kathy Bates and Jessica Tandy. Sorry, we apologize.
I just threw it out there. I had no idea who's in that movie.
Now you like Kathy Najimy.
Kathy Najimy, I think, is genius.
She's hilarious.
And she annoys me to no end in the first movie.
Now, the one thing I like about her is first movie, she starts off on this side, then sometimes it's this side, then it goes back.
No. In the first movie, it's all on one side. That's been just an article that came out.
There was one part where she did.
No. In the first movie, it's all on one side.
This side.
In the new movie, it's all on the other side.
Is it?
Yes.
I thought it went back and
she
forth
brought up because she said she did that. I just read this.
Okay.
She said because she was trying to answer people kind of. I didn't even pay attention to it, but people obviously wacky fans for this trash. Made a mention, and she's like, well, there's a simple answer to this. She goes, when she did it the first time, she just on the fly did it on the set on the first day, and it stuck. She goes, now she can't do it on that side, so she had to do it on the other side. So that's all it was.
There you go.
Yeah, I think the first movie.
Neither one of us like Sarah Jessica Parker. Yeah, we apologize.
I think the first movie is just trash.
I thought the first movie was cute. I don't think it's as great as everyone makes it out to be. It's fine.
I have never been able to get through the first movie, but I refuse to watch and review the second movie until I can see the first movie all the way through.
So we watched it again.
Because I am a firm believer that you don't have any right to say anything about something until you've seen the whole thing.
So we watched it.
So I have told people numerous times
recently.
I just can't get to that movie. If I say I can't get to that movie, it's because I've never finished it, and I would feel like a hypocrite saying that movie sucks if I've never seen the whole movie. Because sometimes a movie can be really bad and have a redeeming end that makes everything work.
Well, and I think
I don't know what's happening right now. Oh my God.
Tom Cruise flying the planes.
Top Gun.
Top Gun is a perfect example where the second film makes the first movie better.
I don't think the first Top Gun's all that great. I have a better appreciation for it now, but
helps.
Yeah. So, these movies are actually a Top Gun scenario, but
yeah,
I still don't think it helped make the first movie any better.
I like the first movie fine. It's cute. I wouldn't watch it over and over like the people who do that.
These parties,
like,
I don't get it. We sat down and we watched it from beginning to end. And
it's fine. We are not the target audience. We're not 10 years old.
But I got through the end of it.
It's all right.
Yep, this movie still sucks.
Okay.
I didn't find it really funny. It has moments.
It's funny moments.
My problem is this is one of those rare times that everybody annoys me, because I'm somebody that I watch some stupid shit and I like some dumb stuff. I'll be the first to admit it. And I like some trash cinema. I like sometimes the worse movie the better. And I'll be the first to admit to that. But I wanted to contribute it up to that I don't like Bette Midler and I don't like Sarah Jessica Parker, but I love Kathy Najimy, but she annoyed me in the first movie as well. The kids annoyed me in that movie.
That little girl. I wanted to smack that little girl, and then the movie never would have happened. The end. Hello.
Yeah, everybody in that movie annoys me, and I think it's stupid, and it just... There's nothing about it that I enjoy. That's all I can say. I didn't hate it as much as when I finally got all the way through it, like I probably would have said a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Because I can see its appeal to younger audiences,
Correct.
but it ain't me, and I don't understand how anybody can sit through that movie, and I will never watch it again.
And now we are to Hocus Pocus 2, just released this year.
Now, before I tell my thoughts on this movie, I will tell you this. I watched the first movie. I did not head into this new movie going, ugh, this movie is going to suck like the first one. I said, I'm going to give it an open mind because it's a newer movie. What could they be doing different with the story? Could they be bringing some new things? So I don't automatically hate something just because I didn't like the first one. You know, so with that being said, we jumped in the new one. What did you think of the new one?
The new one, I think, is better than the first one, personally. I feel like it's better. It's a much better movie. I still love me some Bette Midler. So when I get a song and dance number, I'm happy. It makes me happy. I do like that. Well, I don't want to spoil about who's in what, but the story is cohesive to part one. I'll say that. So I do appreciate that. I like some of the gags they did with the flying broomsticks and all that. The most annoying thing to me in this movie is Sarah Jessica Parker and her eyebrows. It is so annoying to me.
I don't even know.
That's the only thing I noticed.
Because they're so dark?
Yes. Oh, okay. They're so dark and so thick. And
Are they dark in the first movie?
Yes, but not like they see they are. But she just happens to have, I guess, dark eyebrows.
Maybe it's not her eyebrows that are dark. It's they made her more pale.
I guess.
So
or she's gotten paler as she's gotten older, and her hair is lighter than it was in the first one, so it's way more noticeable. But they're really thick.
That it's all like high def now, and you can see it better.
I don't know. They're just like thick caterpillar sitting on her face, and it was so annoying to me.
I can tell you that I actually moderately enjoyed the second movie. I didn't hate it.
We need an applause track.
Thank you. I will admit something though, and I'm like, okay, I had a little more fun this time around, and here's why. I don't think the witches were as annoying as they were in the first one. But they also changed the tone of the movie. This movie didn't feel as stupid.
Yeah, that was really campy.
Yeah, the first movie just felt stupid to me, and
they made them bumbling.
Yeah, and it wasn't
instead of terrifying witches.
Well, and I know they weren't trying to make like scary movie, but it felt like the first movie feels like everybody in the movie is annoying and stupid, and then the movie is just dumb. This one, it felt like the fish out of water. Still kind of bumbling-ish witches, but they weren't idiots.
Correct.
And they didn't feel stupid. And every move didn't have to be a unified, funny track. They could have a conversation sometimes, but still be the craziness that they were. I actually kind of dig the direction they went, even though the entire movie is a rehash of the first one with a slight twist.
Yes.
I know a lot of people are upset about the lack of returning cast members, some of the kids. So I know Thora Birch, who plays the annoying little girl.
Yes.
She's now an adult.
Hopefully
I know she was
hopefully
planning.
She's not annoying.
She was supposed to be in the movie, but scheduling kept her from being able to be in it.
That's too
So
bad.
it wasn't a matter of that. Doug Jones does come back as the corpse, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting how they started giving some backstory to some of the stuff, and it made it feel like more of a movie.
It's more of a movie. It's more cohesive. Yeah. And I think
the first one feels like, hey, let's just cast a spell, bumbling people show up, we got to get rid of them, and everything's dumb.
But like you said, because we have the backstory here, I do feel like it gives a little more context to part one.
Yeah.
So it does help. I think this is one of those instances. And I think the other thing I like about this part two is they're not the complete center focus of the movie. Yeah. They're two parallel stories. And I appreciated that.
I did enjoy how they connected to the first one with a new character, but also further back than the first movie from their own past. And then also connecting Doug Jones' character. What is that kid's character's name? What is that stupid zombie's name?
This is the boyfriend.
Not the boyfriend, the zombie.
Yes, he's the boyfriend name? Zombie.
Well, I think he has a different name.
I
know.
Look
at Doug Jones. Right there at the top.
Billy Butcher.
Billy Butcher. Okay. I think his story was interesting, and it to me the movie I think just worked better. I still probably wouldn't watch it again.
I'll watch it again.
And I like also that it's a movie that can stand on its own. You don't have to see the first one,
correct?
But it adds to the mix. Like obviously there's stuff from the first movie in it, and it's definitely a sequel, and it does enhance the new movie, and it makes the old movie. But also they don't really fit because the tone of the old movie and the tone of the new movie aren't really the same.
Correct. And
of course, hardcore people are going to, everybody's applauding the movie. I'm glad everybody's loving it that are hardcore fans, but they're also going to be the ones that be like, oh, they're all the same as those. They did it the same,
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
It's fine. It is what it is. I don't hate on people for liking something. I think everybody has the right to like stuff even if it's wrong.
The movie's cute, so
yeah, I did moderately enjoy the new one,
and it's on Disney, so it makes it very much more accessible. Was the first one on Disney now too?
That's where we watched it because we do not own that.
Yeah, I know we don't own it. I just didn't know what happened.
That's the only way we would have been watching is.
All right, well, check out Hocus Pocus 1 and 2 on Disney now.
On Disney Plus.
There you go. All right.
Move on to something else.
When y'all hear the next movie next week that's on Disney. Did we watch something this week that was on Disney?
No, it's not on Disney. It's just owned by Fox.
Oh,
it's owned by Disney because they bought Fox.
But it said Disney Presents.
Yes. I'll just tell you, it's funny because we might not be doing a show next week.
We will. I'll figure it.
But I got to watch the new Hellraiser movie, and there's nothing funnier than receiving a screening link that says you have a new screening from Disney, and it's Hellraiser. And then while we're watching the movie, it comes on the screen. It says property of Disney.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Awkward. Right. Okay, something for all you haters.
Oh yes. Sadly, this movie didn't do as well. It's been getting amazing reviews. It's got a really high Rotten Tomato thing, but it was very low on the actual box office. But I think this is one of those movies that it deserves the audience. I think it's going to find an audience.
I think so too.
But we're talking about the movie Bros, which stars Billy Eichner.
Billy on the Street.
Yes, for people that know him from Billy on the Street. He was also in Parks and Rec for a little while. He's usually a very in-your-face, loud
that's character, what I know.
And he's not in this movie.
Oh, really?
And that's part of what makes this movie so great. I'm going to tell you right now. Basically, the movie is a romantic comedy that features gay people. I know, shocking turn of events. If I'm not mistaken, it is the first big studio romantic comedy that features gay people as the center.
The center, correct.
There have been romantic gay copies come out, but this is like a universal release, and it's like a big thing, big theatrical.
It's a rom-com of two dudes,
and it features
bros.
It's made by Nicholas Stoller, who is the director of Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yep.
Neighbors, some comedies like that. So you get the idea of the vibe kind of comedy.
It's going to be funny.
And this movie is hilarious as shit.
It seems like it would be.
It is for sure going to go in my top 10 this year.
Wow.
It is one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
And Billy Eichner, like I said, is toned down. He plays this podcast radio show host guy who's looking for love, but he's not either. He doesn't believe in relationships necessarily. And he's trying to find his way, and he's navigating through this whole thing. But my favorite part of this movie is he's got this little board of directors He's basically heads up this LGBTQ plus museum they're trying to put together. It's just going to basically be all stuff about, Harvey Milk and things like this, people that are, of history. And the board is where a lot of the sequences take place. But you have him, then you have a trans person, you have a lesbian, you have a bisexual, you have all these different people on the spectrum.
Nice.
Spectrum is not the word. Is it?
No, not for this. That implies, I think, a mental.
Yeah. I'm not.
Gender spectrum. How do we say this appropriately, friends?
Anyway,
everyone's equally represented.
Yes,
all sexual orientations.
Sexual orientations and representations.
There you go. Thank you.
But their conversations.
Sorry, we're just.
But their conversations are about some of those things. And the funniest is the one guy played by Jim Rash, who I love. He's the bisexual, and he's always crowbarring bisexuality into it, and they're always dismissing him like,
nobody cares.
You stop? We know about the bisexuals, okay? And it's just as funny. There's jabs at the gay community, there's jabs at the trans community, there's jabs at the straight community, but not hateful jabs. They're jabs of like there's a whole ongoing thing about they're at like a gay club and they're talking, and he's saying things like, the gay marketing thing has really made people believe that all gay people are smart, and then he goes, but gay people are stupid, and it's the gay people talking about it, and you're seeing kind of the inside life. And I like too that there's even his best friend is a lady in a straight relationship and her kids, so she's kind of his confidant that he talks to, and he goes and hangs out with their kids. And there's another moment, it's not really a spoiler, but there's a moment where they say something about anal or booty or whatever.
Yeah.
And the little kids were like, oh, booty dance. Because somebody mentioned it. He's like, oh, I liked it better when straight people were ashamed of the gay sex and stuff.
Wow.
And it's funny because it's in your face. And sadly, one of the things that I thought about while watching this movie was wondering how many people are uncomfortable in this screening right now.
Yeah. Because
there's gay sex in the movie. It's a rated R movie. But there's gay sex. There's discussion of gay stuff. There's all these different levels of the sexual.
What about my nemesis? Did he seem uncomfortable?
He was sitting directly in front of me, which I love.
I have a nemesis,
and I don't know because he has the personality of styrofoam.
He
so
hates
I don't know.
Everything. Yeah, he gives everything a bad review. So I don't know how.
I don't know, but
it's one of those.
It's just one of those things. Like, it made me kind of sad that I even had that thought.
Yeah,
I'm watching too, because when you see in a movie or a commercial, you see two people kiss, you don't think anything about it. But then when you see two women kiss, most people say nothing. But you see two men kiss, it becomes
that's when it becomes an issue suddenly.
Straight men, and I'm just going to put it out there, straight men will be like, ooh, look at those two women kiss, sexy. Mm-hmm. Two men kiss, oh my God, that's disgusting, right? And so when you're watching this movie, these are men that are kissing sometimes it's a passionate love story about this. And then there's other times they're having sex, and there's one of the sex scenes that's hilarious, and there's another one that's a passionate sex
Well, I would assume if it's Trainwreck that it's going to be the guy that did Trainwreck. There's going to be a funny sex scene.
There's funny, but there's also romance, and it's heartfelt, and there's things dealing with acceptance, and there's things dealing with being okay with who you are. It's got all the messages, that, and there's stuff in there that would piss off everybody. There's just a line in there that might irritate you about. Somebody said Jesus was gay, but it's a throwaway line. It's not a dialogue about Jesus and religion. It's just like, well, Jesus was gay anyway. It's just an opinion. I know, but it's just an opinion what somebody was saying, one line, but that one line would cause all the controversy,
That should be the controversy, not that it's two guys.
Yes.
That kind of stuff. And that's,
even that shouldn't be a controversy. It should just be like, no, he's not. Shut up. Move on.
Yeah. But I think people get hung up, like you said, they get hung up on this. And I think just by seeing the poster, your average dude's going to be like, we're not going to go see that.
I don't know if you saw it, but I posted that I was at a screening for that with that poster. And the two comments I got were like, oh, that's going to be rough. Or, oh, bro, and it's hard to tell if they're joking, which one of them I think was just joking. But are they joking, or are they really sad? Or did people be just kind of behind the scenes? Were they shaking their head at me like, I can't believe you'd watch this? Like, I mentioned it to some people at my class. They asked what screening I had gone to. And I said, oh, this movie called Bros. And they're like, what is that? And I said, it's a romantic comedy about two gay people. And one of the people specifically, I said, it's a movie you would never watch because I know them. And they're like, oh, yeah, I would never watch that. And they said something like, what was the movie? The closest thing to something like that I would watch would be the birdcage. Like, and it was dismissive because there's a gay character, because that movie's about a gay couple. And I'm like, well, you're missing out. And I immediately proudly said, well, this is one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time. It's a great movie. Bill Eichner is hilarious in it, but he's also passionate. You can see he's trying to get something out with this movie because he wrote it too.
Good for him.
Or co-wrote it and,
Billy on the
produced
Street.
it and stars in it. There's one monologue scene where he's basically spilling out his life and how he was always told, don't be so gay or don't be so this and don't be so that. And it kind of plays into the story of the movie. And but I really love this movie. I thought it was great. It was one of those that I was willing to go see it again to take you to see it.
Yeah, I wanted to see it. I think I haven't seen it, but I think just looking at the cast list, I think it's a great opportunity for also people of different sexual orientations to be featured in a film.
Yeah.
Being allowed to be who they are. Just like we talk about, like an all Asian cast or an all Spanish cast. Like, hey,
it's sad that we have to have a movie that's an all gay cast.
Yeah.
It should be like, you don't have to agree with it.
It's LGBT.
I'm sorry. You know what I mean, though. Homosexuals.
They're not all homosexuals.
I know.
There's a wide variety.
I
That's
know.
A plus.
I'm a straight white male.
I know. Sorry.
Give me a break. But everything's against me.
I love that.
I have white privilege.
I think I love that the most about you. Not the white privilege.
What thing do you like about me? That I'm a straight white male?
Yeah, because you're my type, babe.
Hey, if y'all want to know my diversity, I'm married to a Hispanic. My best friend is one of the gays. I know. My son's named after a gay.
What?
And I might dabble if it gets cold enough.
You're so crazy.
Anyway,
Anyways, check out the movie.
Yeah, it's such a funny movie, and I think it's an important movie to see because I think it was one of those that really should have been supported because of what it is. It's sad that it needs to be supported because it should be a movie that be, hey, another romantic comedy is what this movie should be. But this is an empowerment movie. And even though the subtext is about gay and all the LGBT community and whatnot, it's really about acceptance of just being who you are and what's out there, and let it be. Stop making it about that's not what we are and trying to turn a blind eye to stuff. There's an interesting with the museum that plays into one of the other characters because the reason it's called Bros is there's an underlining aspect of this relationship that he gets in the movie with this guy, that the guy is more of he's not a closeted homosexual. He's an openly gay man, but he's not gay, like flamboyant gay. He's like an everyday man, and there's even a gym sequence where they're like, he goes up and he's like, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? And they're trying to be tougher, and voice changes and stuff like this. Anyway, I love the movie. It will definitely be on my top 10. If you haven't seen it, get over yourself and go watch it. It's hilarious.
All right, then. Next, completely different direction.
With another movie with more controversy.
Oh, Lord.
And I have a specific question about this movie as for you as a woman, but tell us what it is.
This is the movie Blonde. It's currently on Netflix, and it stars Ana de Armas as Marilyn Monroe. This movie
Her name is Ana de Armas.
I said Ana de Armas.
You said Armas.
Okay.
Armas.
Ana de Armas. Okay. Please note, this movie is based on the novel Blonde. That came out in 2000, and it is a fictionalized novel based on the life of Marilyn Monroe. So it takes elements that we're aware of, and it creates a story around it.
It's a fictional account of real things.
Yes, there you go. All right.
So I have to ask you before we get into this movie. First of all, the movie's like almost 3 hours. It's a long one. It's kind of artsy or whatever, but there's some of the controversy behind this movie is, like, I've heard some people talk about how it's a hard movie to watch because there is some sexual deviancy, rape, I don't know, all the different, pretty much any kind of thing you can think of in relation to that context. So I can understand that being kind of hard for some people, especially if you've had to deal with that yourself. I can see that giving thoughts. But I saw somebody, mind you, it was a person who has not seen the movie, which annoys me, but saying that they felt this movie was an exploitive thing about rape culture and people enjoying, men especially, I guess, enjoying this movie basically feeds to that thing. So you as a woman who watched this film, outside of we watching it as a biopic of this person's life and the things she went through, do you have any stance or have any feelings of the exploitive nature of what they were saying about Marilyn Monroe or anything else in this movie? From a standpoint of,
I don't think it's
abuse,
I don't think it's a glorification of rape culture. I think it's a real representation of what happened during that time period to many women. The whole casting couch thing, with the Me Too thing. I do think there's too much gratuitous nudity for no reason. However, I do think for her, that is how she lived most of her life, just like topless running around. Unfortunately,
as somebody who,
I think it was too much. There was too much boob for me.
And as somebody who wanted to see her boobs because I'm a fan, I also don't like gratuitous nudity, and I didn't see gratuitous nudity. What I saw is I thought somebody who was a sex symbol, who was being abused, and was also constantly in a state of that world, being shown in kind of the light of what she probably was really doing.
I guess. You know what I mean? I just think it was too much, but I mean, it's just too much boob.
Is there ever too much boob?
Yeah.
Is there though? I mean, for big sloppy ones, maybe, but
I do think based on how she was found and just accounts of her person, I do think she was probably topless all the time, but she was in her own house. Yeah. So it's fine, I guess. It's just a lot to me. I think the hardest thing to watch about this movie is that it's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It is. I think it's a great movie and a not great movie all at once.
Yeah.
I think it was very enlightening on like somebody else mentioned how they were a huge fan and it was a hard movie to watch. And I'm like, yeah, it was really crazy to see somebody known for such beauty living through such ugliness.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that mentality of the ugliness behind the beauty, and but in this case it was her life. But I thought the brilliance of this movie, outside of her performance, I thought she was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought this was probably the best performance she's given of her career so far. But I think the color palettes of black and white, the color were unique, kind of artsy.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like is that there were times, because she is trying to do the Marilyn Monroe voice, I could kind of hear her accent a little bit every once in a while in some of her whispery talk. I personally think she was best in that last movie with Ben Affleck.
You hated that movie.
I did, but she was good. She was insanely good and crazy.
She was. I just don't
back and forth.
I
more than that.
She was good in that. I just thought she was.
No, she was good in this. She was really good in this, and I think she really embodied
how much she looks
the
like
character,
her
and she looked like her, and they did a really great job with the makeup and the whole thing. I think the saddest thing to me, it's a sad movie. I think the saddest thing to me was you see Norma Jean, and you see her as Marilyn over here, and in her mind she has to call her in to take over her life so that she can get away from all the things that are happening to her. Like, this isn't happening to me, it's happening to Marilyn.
Yeah, it's two different people.
And it's sad because, at one scene, kind of as we get further towards the end, and she's having all these issues with the men and the stuff that's happened to her personally and the drugs and all that, she's like, I hope she comes back. I hope she comes back. And she's just wanting Marilyn to come back and take over. And, the sad thing is her makeup artist is like, she's coming. She's almost here. And then she looks at herself in the mirror and sees the makeup, and you see like the distortion of who she is and who Marilyn is. And she's like, okay, now I'm Marilyn. So it's really sad to me in a way that she was not happy and comfortable in her own life.
Well, I mean, she clearly had some mental issues.
Mental health issues from her.
From whatever, if even remotely half of what happened with her mom at the beginning of the movie was true.
Lord have mercy.
It's a wonder that she made it as long as she did.
Yeah.
But it is a compelling movie from the standpoint of, because it's weird, is it's so slow, but it moves rapidly through her life. But so much happened in a short time.
Yeah, because she was young.
Because was she in her 30s when she died?
Yeah, she was only 36.
Yeah, so much happened in such a short time. There's no way to tell the story without being a long movie or mini series or something and jam that much stuff into it. But there's elements of touched about it all, and it's compelling, but it's slow. But it's also sometimes too fast. It's like they don't spend enough time on some of the elements so you can really get the full impact. Like the entire thing with the president, with Kennedy, was like very quick and very dismissive, very kind of gross in the way it's handled. And
I think he was gross though.
Well,
he was having affairs
we all know
with
he was
multiple
banging
women.
everybody he could find, but it was like, that's not the relationship I expected we were going to get from that. Yeah. I thought it was going to be more of an actual, even if it was an illicit affair, more of a romantic, hey, I'm with Marilyn Monroe and it's the president and they're smooching. Mm-hmm. So it is not that in this movie. And we don't know if that's what happened, obviously being a fictional account, but I'm assuming there's a reason they told that way they did. Somebody said something and how it was served, and it's humiliating. Well, it's probably, to me, that was probably the most uncomfortable moment. It was
gross. And I do think at least some accounts of it are true about her being ushered in and whisked out, secretly here and there, and like they just throw her on a plane and be like, bye. So I think that's kind of gross, but whatever. I don't think it even went to all the account because it says the novel's even longer. Stuff got cut out.
Yeah.
Because supposedly she had relationships with the other one, the Bobby Kennedy too. So I don't even know, guys. It's just too much. Poor thing. I think she was abused. She was treated badly, and I think she tried to do the best with what she had. I think also too, though, at this time period, there wasn't a lot of support for mental health issues and or for women's issues.
There's no support for women at all. So everything was about, shut up and do what you're told and serve me.
Well, and at some point you see she starts fighting back about being typecast as the dumb blonde, and we find out she's actually very well read. She knows a lot. I mean, she's very smart because she reads a lot, but people don't believe that she actually read it.
I think it was her Arthur Miller conversation. Yeah. Was when you really start seeing that, okay, she actually knows them because, when he's like, oh, my stuff,
Yeah, like who told you?
And then she's
like, I read it.
Yeah. Another one,
she's like, I've read this play.
Yeah. Something's based on, they're like, you read that. And I was like, yeah.
She did. I mean, she wasn't dumb. People just treated her that way. So that's too bad. I feel bad. It's a life cut short.
It's a sad, kind of gross movie at times. It's not graphic.
Mm-mm.
Like from the talk of it and being one of the rare, if not the only NC-17 Netflix movies.
Yeah.
Because that was a big deal. I think I expected it to be a little more graphic.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, there's really only one scene of per se rape.
Yeah,
that early sequence, and it's such it's perfectly shot because you get the entire gist and the pain of it all. And I'm not saying that I wanted to see more from it, but it's still so subtle. It's not a gross.
But I mean, it kind of shows you how she got under contract with the studio.
Yeah, and it's disgusting, but it's
nasty.
Not. It's not graphic.
Well, and then we found out with the Me Too thing. I mean, that was not. I mean, it's been going on forever.
Yeah,
and so sad. I think the other story was her with the other guy at the beginning. I don't want to say who.
Well, I think anybody knows. Were you talking about Chaplin's kid?
Yeah, and just that was sad to me and sad at the end. There's so many just tragic, devastating things I think that happened to one person.
Yeah, and every time things seem to be going,
handle so much.
Every time things seem to be going in the right direction, something bad happened.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, watching this, if you see like kind of like the whole Elvis thing too, they didn't really know how to treat mental health issues. They just gave him drugs. They just drugged him up to calm him down,
or whatever,
or both. And then they become addicted to it's the Judy Garland thing, over to the uppers and the downers, and Elvis too, like get him up, put him to sleep, get him up, put him to sleep. And it was that same cycle. So I mean, the body can only handle so much.
Yeah.
And these poor people needed help, and it's just it's such a sad movie to me. She did a great job, but yeah, it was too much boob for me. But that's okay.
If you're a fan of Marilyn Monroe, but you want to keep the clean, squeaky vibe of Marilyn Monroe, do not watch this movie.
I don't.
If you want to know,
squeaky.
At least get a little bird's eye view of the potential things that happened to her that we know happened, but in this way. This obviously, like we mentioned at the beginning, is a fictional account of the things that happened. It's a hard watch sometimes, but I think it's a great movie. It's not a movie you watch twice, and it's one that you might need to pace yourself.
Yeah, it's very long. So, anyways, yeah, that is what it is.
Blonde is on Netflix now.
Yeah, check it out.
And we got one
Oh
last
my
one.
gosh, this movie, you guys.
Now, you want to talk about crazy true stories. I've been looking forward to this ever since I got the first email about it and posted the trailer. It's a movie called The Greatest Beer Run Ever.
Oh my gosh.
And right out the gate, when you hear that title, you think, well, this movie's going to be stupid.
I thought it was dumb. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll watch it.
So this movie is based on a true story about a man who jokingly makes a statement about during the Vietnam War, because I guess his friends accuse him of not really doing anything.
Yeah.
He kind of became a mockery because he was in the military, but he didn't really go to war or anything. And he makes a throwaway comment about, let's take beer to him or something. And so this guy literally went to Vietnam with a bag full of beers to find all of his friends that are serving to bring him a beer. That's the story. And you would think that's bullshit. It is absolutely true. It really happened.
Insane.
And the movie actually is way deeper than that. Because I thought it was going to be a comedy.
It's a biographical war action comedy drama.
Yes.
If you want, so I don't know where you're going to put it on the website when you try to figure out what genre to put it in.
I'll probably put it in a drama.
But oh my gosh, it's based on the guy's book about his life story.
Yes,
Go ahead.
It stars Zac Efron, Russell Crowe, who's not in the movie a lot, but when he is there, he's important.
So good.
He is. Bill Murray is in the movie, but it's essentially a cameo. And then I don't know who all the rest of the people are offhand. Andy Serkis's daughter's in it. I know that.
Okay.
But it's directed by Peter Farrelly, one of the Farrelly brothers.
But I think that's good because it adds some levity to a very dark time in history, which is the Vietnam War. That there's still so much controversy. People aren't over it, which I totally get. I think it's another one of those cases where we probably got involved in something we shouldn't have. But
I don't think there's a problem story about it. But
I don't want to get into that.
And it's interesting how this movie does have laughs. It does funny. Even the poster's hilarious. But there's a journey here about truth and about finding yourself, but also understanding the truth that's really out there. And it's kind of got a metaphor story to what's going on nowadays, where the truth of the media against the truth of the politicians. And in this case, it's the media trying to tell the truth, but the politicians trying to spin bullshit.
Yeah.
Which we're still in that, but we get a lot of media spinning bullshit and what stories they can tell and not tell. Russell Crowe plays one of the reporters, the field war correspondent people that he meets. But it's insane how he makes this trip, because nowadays there's no way in hell this would have ever happened.
No. So he goes literally to the war front. Like there's bombs, there's shooting, there's tanks and everything. And everywhere he goes, he's like, yeah, I'm just bringing beers to my friend. But the way it happens is they think he's someone else, obviously, throughout the film.
He's trying to be subtle because he's trying not to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to, you're in these war zones, but also military bases that you're not supposed to be on as a civilian. But so the way he's dressed, the way he's acting all cryptic, they think he's
secret,
like with the agencies.
He's an agent.
So a lot of it's under. He didn't have to say, okay, we know who he's with. We're like, yes, sir, right away, sir.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of goes with it, and it spirals out of control. But it somehow makes the entire run
like it totally. I'm in disbelief that this happened, but then watching it at that time, like these days, it wouldn't happen.
He wouldn't even got out of the
you
States.
Couldn't even do TSA without with a bag of beer. Like
he wouldn't even have got out of his neighborhood.
But I mean, now back then, just like, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. And at some point, before he goes to the next leg of his trip, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go up to the war front and take beer. He's like, there's no way you're going to get in. And well, he knows a guy and he's nice to someone else who then helps him. He's like, yeah, I know a guy, and he'll take you on a plane. I mean, and it's just that whole conundrum of, I know someone that can help you.
And even when he tries to finally tell people the truth, they just think that's another lie of
like,
who it really is. Oh, okay. And
yeah.
it's like, and it's because there's that dark conspiracy of things of who's who, and there's the people that are those people that know he's not that.
Yeah.
So they try to take him. And so there's so many layers, but it's interesting. What starts off as kind of this silly, nonsensical journey of what he thinks he's doing something nice for his buddies, to let them know that he's thinking about them. Even though they can get beer in Vietnam, they can drink. He's like, but they can't have the New York beer, and they can't, this is me bringing it to him as a friend. And he's not always given the reception he would thought he was going to get. And it makes him start opening his eyes. And I love that element of the movie, that the guy is actually on a journey of discovery of the truth, it's not about the beers anymore by the time the movie ends. It's about the truth of what really is going on in the world and how we're delusional as we sit at home while war is happening and thinking, oh, that's sad. Oh, that sucks. And the government's telling us, hey, we're winning the war. And everybody's like, yay, everything's going to be great. And then you find out that that's not really what's happening over there. And people keep getting sent. And it's the same thing that was happening in Afghanistan and Iraq and all these different things over the years. And it kind of hits closer to home when you start
thinking about it now.
And then I like that they didn't make him also become some, like, when he gets in war zones, he's terrified. He's like, oh God, this is real, and then he's seeing the people fighting. There's one sequence where the guy's like, you came here on purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because most of those people were there because of the draft.
Yeah.
And he's like, you came on purpose to this?
Yeah.
And, then they have to stand up and keep shooting. And he's just like,
yeah. I mean, I think, but there was a level of gratitude there when in that scene where the guy's like, oh my gosh. And then he's passing out the beers, and I think it's interesting because he was a vet. He was a U.S. Marine vet, but he didn't actually.
He never saw combat.
Right. He was just a merchant guy. He was he was a seaman on a ship, and he learned how to run the rigs on the.
But he thought he was the same.
He thought it was the same.
He thought he was the same because he was a vet as well. So what's no big deal?
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to just go see him. But then he gets there. And I think the reality of war is what really hit him. And I think even us as viewers is that I don't think you have to agree with the war or not agree. But these guys sign. And there's even that one friend that he's like, I don't know, I'm going to sign up, but I'm scared. Should I sign up? And then some guys were just drafted. But, people, I think, legitimately sign up because they want to do what's right. They want to help their country or whatever. And then we're over here on this end, not even really knowing what's happening to them day to day. Like I have friends that, like, they lived in a tree for a month. I mean, we don't even understand or comprehend what they're going through. But then we think we have the right to criticize and be like, the war is done.
Well, that was what the weirdest thing, too. Is like, I understand protesting. Like, there's a whole protesting segment of the movie.
Which, okay, for Vietnam, I get it.
Which they were protesting the government being in Vietnam. They weren't protesting the soldiers, but at the same time, when the soldiers came home, people were spitting on them. People were attacking them. People were treating them like crap, as if they all made the decision to go there, or as if they were the ones to blame. It's like, there's something about, like, and I didn't tell you this when we watched it, but he made a statement that I had a firm belief in until the last few years. And they're talking about the president. He's making a statement about the war, and the war correspondent. They're at a bar and there are all these reporters and they're all like, whatever, screw this guy, shut up, and he's yelling at him because that is the president of the United States. You will have respect for them. And they're like, screw that guy, he's full of shit, and he's like, you don't have to like him, but you got to respect the office. And that's how I used to always think, no matter who was in the office,
we try.
You respect the office of president. And I still believe that. But
it's hard now.
You also have to step back sometimes and see, for the last few years, we haven't had, and I'm talking about all the way up to now, we haven't had the greatest leadership in this country. There's flaws every time with every single person, but I've seen that more where I'm like, I respect the office, but I'm having a really hard time respecting the man in there.
Yeah.
Whether it's now, whether it's the previous one or one before that, it doesn't matter. It's like, I'm not giving you a quick statement of who I support. It's become harder to support the office because you can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
And then the country is no longer a country. We're all divided by that person, not by what we stand for. You're like, well, I love this guy. You love this guy. That's what divides us.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be
and
that.
Seeing that element, him saying that in the moment, and then starting to understand the truth of what's really going on and covering it up made that movie like, man, this movie took a turn.
Well, I think it was deep on another level. I mean, there were two things that really struck me. So one was the reporters that were there trying to tell the real story and then seeing on the news a different story coming out.
Yeah.
And I think now we get so much information, but we get so much information with opinions. Whereas back then it was like a photo that would tell a story.
Yeah.
Now it's just video of everybody recording.
The news is supposed to be non-biased.
Correct.
And I'm just telling you a story. This person killed this person. The end.
And I gotta tell you, though,
this black person killed this person, or this college graduate was accused of doing this. It's biased reporting,
like
and
these correspondents that willingly go into war. They have no guns. They have cameras.
Yeah.
And they're running around like, I'm with the press. and there's no guarantee of safety there.
Maybe that's my favorite shot of the whole movie.
Oh my gosh!
When him and Russell Crowe separate,
the guns are on him, and
no. When they finally separate at one point, and Zac Efron character is driving away, and he's trying to get Russell Crowe to come with him. He goes, "No, this is where I go. I'm a war correspondent. I'm here." And the shot it's him driving away, and it's him looking back. And you just see billows of smoke and fire and war, and you just see him walking forward with a camera, knowing that that's what he's doing. Is he's in there taking those pictures and can be killed at any moment.
Well, and it reminded me like the Johnny Depp, the Manamato or whatever. Like he got beat the heck up, and I mean these people have no guarantee of things. And then like even during this last hurricane, they showed that. The reporter from like 20 years ago at the last hurricane, and he was reporting out of a car trunk, you know, and now you see him like he's like 20 years later and he's at another hurricane. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Like tornado chasers and everybody else.
But like that's what
but
they
if we didn't have those people, we wouldn't have those stories.
I know, but then
it's
we
a
still
different
don't
breed of
sometimes
human
get the truth. Okay, so that's one thing that really struck me. The other thing that got me was when he decides to go. And now you have all these families. Will you please take this to my son? Will you take this pair of socks? I mean, it's the most minute little thing. Like, take this cross, take this pair of socks, take this letter. Like, the tiniest little things meant so much. And, you know, he comes back and, you know, he makes it back safely, but not everyone does. So he feels bad. And where the mom's like, no, that, you know, you went. That's what matters. And I'm like,
yeah, she talks about, there's a scene in there where it talks about how much it meant to the people in town that he went for them.
Yes.
It's like they didn't see him taking beers. They saw him going to check up on them.
Yeah.
Are they okay? You can now report back. We know truthfully. Yes. You can tell us what's happening and not just what the government doesn't tell you. It's a way deeper movie.
It's fun and it's deep. Okay, now, what would you think of a cast of Dylan O'Brien instead of Zac Efron and Viggo Mortensen instead of Russell Crowe?
Is that what it was supposed to be?
That's what it was supposed to be.
I think it would still work.
And then schedules, COVIDs and schedules. COVIDs and schedules, I believe.
Yeah, I think that could have still worked. I like both of them.
You know what? I really love me some dang Zac Efron. At the beginning, he was just that little singy dancing
the High School Musical. I was so against Zac Efron.
I know.
If you had asked me 5-10 years ago that. Or told me I'm gonna be a fan of Zac Efron, I've been looking full of crap. But he's a damn good actor.
He is so good, guys. Forget High School Musical. He is a grown-ass man that does some really good acting.
He's a great actor.
And I love Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Russell Crowe is.
You know what?
I don't everybody bashing him because he's gotten fat. But guess what?
He's making money, and you ain't. So he's been in there. And you know what I like about Russell Crowe is he's just him. In that crazy road rage movie. The Marvel thing, showing up in his little gold thing. He didn't care if he was chunky. He didn't care if he was chunky. He was walking around in his little thing and his gold chest plate. Shoot. He's running around in this movie with his camera. He making money. I like here's some Russell Crowe. Sorry, he can sing, he can dance, he can act. There you go. All right, next.
I was going to ask if you.
Sorry. Watch The Greatest Beer Run Ever. It is an Apple TV Plus. There you go.
Yes. Have you ever seen, talking about Russell Crowe?
That's Gladiator right there. I still wouldn't fight with Russell Crowe. I don't care if he's chunky. I'm not going to get in a fight. I don't know. He could probably still punch the crap out of somebody.
Have you ever seen the movie Romper Stomper?
No.
That is one of the first movies. It's not his first movie, but that's a movie that kind of got him.
Well, let's go find that.
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh, is it good?
It is a hard movie to watch. It's a great movie.
Okay.
But if I remember correctly, he plays a skinhead.
I hate those.
So it's a skinhead that doesn't like the way the neighborhood's changing.
I don't like hate movies, but
I know
sometimes you got to watch them. Babe, it's also October, so don't forget your favorite scary movie this week.
Well, we can talk.
You want to do that right now? Do you want to grab anything off the shelf?
You know what? I'm not going to say it's necessarily one of my favorite movie, but I am going to talk about a movie that I really enjoy that is coming out this week already. So I'll just throw that in there.
Okay.
There's a review on our website for Bram Stoker's Dracula. That it was directed by Francis Ford Coppola.
I'm doing this.
It is one of my favorite adaptations of Dracula.
That is a
because
good
it's
movie.
not just the normal. Like I love the old Dracula movies and the Universal monster stuff and Dracula's remake movies they've made and everything else. But I just something about Bram Stoker's Dracula that just
so iconic.
It's bigger, and I just rewatched it again for the first time because they this week they're releasing it on 4K for the first time.
I'm looking up here for a movie.
I don't know if I kept you awake when you were trying to nap. I was watching the end of it.
No, I heard it, but I knew what it was.
I turned it way down. I was
fine.
reading most of it.
I'm sorry. You feel free to do, babe. I can hear everything, so it's fine.
No, because she says that, and then when I try to watch Norma, she goes, "Can you turn that down?"
Well, I did have to the other day. You were upstairs, and it was so loud. I heard every single word of whatever you were watching. I don't know, but I heard every single thing. I knew what was happening.
Oh, that's because you were laying down in the living room. That's why you heard it. That's why I was like, I remember I was watching something on YouTube on my computer. And
that's how I know the whole show of Jack Ryan with what's his name.
Well, here's what's funny about that is when you sent me that message that day, I'm like, how the hell is that bitch hearing this in the bedroom? You never hear anything in the bedroom. And then I realized you were on the couch.
I was sleeping on the couch because it was hot.
Anyway,
it was cooler in there.
But Bram Stoker's Dracula, there's a new 4K edition coming out. The only problem I have with that movie, which is going to be shocking because we all love him dearly, is Keanu Reeves. He does not fit in that movie. He's Harker, and he's the only thing that seems out of place. He does fine, but I believe Francis Ford Coppola has come out and said that that's his only casting misstep. But that's because they cast because he was a young upcomer, kind of popular at the time. They wanted him in, and he's the only part.
I have to go back and think about it.
Even rewatching it, I felt like I don't really fit this movie. Gary Oldman, on the other hand, is insanely great. Good. He's over the top. He's weird.
That hair.
This is one of the first times Monica Bellucci I like in something.
We don't really like her in most things.
She's in the movie as one of his Dracula
brides. Yeah, that's fine because I can deal with that.
But
I'm looking up here.
I just think it's a great movie. It's one of the best adaptations of Dracula.
I'm gonna go grab a movie.
You don't need to get it. Just tell everybody.
I'm gonna grab a movie.
Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints.
I want to pick.
So anyway, I'm only mainly picking. It's not one of my favorite movies of all time, but I'm just picking it because it's new this week. So promotion for that, as well as telling you about it. So
we all know I'm gonna pick the Scream franchise. So I'm trying to branch out this year and bring.
But funny you say that. Scream 2 is hitting 4K this week.
Hey. I like the new Scream movie, the new one with everyone back.
Yeah. So they're making a new one.
Oh, are they with the new people?
No Nev Campbell, though.
Okay.
Courtney Cox is coming back, but Nev Campbell's
I'm going to go back to a movie that used to scare the crajum-jums out of me, and it probably still would.
And I probably know because you probably recite things from it all the time. Yes.
The original Children of the Corn. Was there a part 2 or something?
There's a bunch of Children
of the Corn
movies.
With Malachi. Oh my gosh. This movie used to scare the crud out of me. And my brother would come around chasing me saying he was Malachi. And I was just like, oh no. Anyway, so this is basically evil children in a cornfield trying to kill you. That's all you need to know.
With evil children and clowns anyway.
I do.
Speaking of which.
I know there's a clown movie coming out. I saw it on
No.
Oh,
this
week there is a clown movie coming out at the theater. So
you finish telling your thing. I'll look at it.
Anyways, Children of the Corn, I think, is one of those iconic movies. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's Linda Hamilton, and the little family comes to town not knowing what's going on, and there's some crazy things. It is a Stephen King novel of the same name. Terrifying secrets in the cornfields. That's all you need to know. Great movie. Check it out.
The guy that's the main kid is terrifying.
Malachi?
Yeah.
Did he grow up to be terrifying?
Yes, he's a weird-looking adult.
Oh, no. Poor thing. Did he keep acting?
He did for a long time, I think.
Let's see. What were you going to tell me about clowns?
Hold on.
Oh, goodness. Let's see. Malachi, Linda Hamilton. Malachi, Courtney Gaines. Oh, he looks familiar. I feel like I've seen him in something else. Anyways, check it. Check 1, 2.
Yeah, I can't find it. Oh, well. I just read an article, and it's somebody fairly big, and I don't know who it is, but they're supposedly going to do a remake of Magic, which is the movie with Anthony Hopkins about the ventriloquist dummy.
Oh, no.
If you've never seen Magic, that movie is excellent.
Oh, no.
It's Anthony Hopkins it's a young Anthony Hopkins and a ventriloquist dummy. So good. That movie's creepy.
It was creepy, and it makes me sad you made me watch it. It was freaking me out. Oh, that puppet. Look at the puppet. I just looked up the picture of the movie, and that puppet's face came up.
I know. It's so perfect.
All right. Are you going to tell me what's coming out on the Blu-rays and the DVDs?
Yeah. Now I'm trying to find a... Oh, there it is. Who is it? Oh, Sam Raimi, who made Evil Dead and stuff. They're trying to remake Magic.
No, thank you.
I'm so excited.
I'll post the link to all of the movies we've just mentioned. What did you mention?
You know about the movies that are coming
out?
Who
did you pick?
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Okay.
But there's a review for it on our site.
I'll go post it. HollywoodMatrimony.com. I did see that come up. Okay, tell me what's coming out.
Everything. Hold on. Everything on my computer is just doing its own thing today.
Could be operator error.
No, it's because it's stupid. So this week, as just mentioned, Bram Stoker's Dracula is getting 4K for the first time ever. We've got Star Trek Picard Season 2 is coming to Blu-ray and DVD, 4K, and all that good stuff. Halloween, the 4K collection is coming out from Shout Factory. But it's the 1995 to 2002 films. They already put out another 4 set with the original stuff, and now this is some of the later ones. DC's League of Super Pets is coming to 4K and Blu-ray and DVD.
Nice.
I guess that's it. That's only big stuff.
The Dracula link's not working for me.
Is it not working?
Well, when I click on the thing that takes up the page,
scroll down to the bottom.
I can't.
No. Put your cursor over there at the bottom. At the bottom of the image. Now click when you see the finger click.
Oh, it didn't do anything.
It does that on some of them.
So annoying.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I just discovered that recently. So anyway, that's pretty
error.
much the only really bigger things that I see coming out this week.
Okay, let me tell you about what's coming out of the theater. Can you believe it's October? It's scary movie time, friends. Love it. So coming out on Tuesday, this Tuesday on video demand and digital, is a movie called Among the Living. It is about 2 kids who are stranded after an outbreak of some sort. So creatures are out to get them, and they are trying to get their way to their father. So it's a brother and sister survival against the infected. Okay. Then there's a Fathom event. It's a documentary about Mother Teresa, No Greater Love. And there's, I think, 2 days to watch it. You can see it on Tuesday.
I find it funny that your entire computer is purses.
You can see it on Tuesday, or it also, I think, comes out another day later in the week. We'll talk about that. So if you're Monday or Tuesday, if you're interested in Mother Teresa at all, there you go. All right, coming out on Wednesday, there's a new Netflix movie called Mr. Harrigan's Phone. It is about a boy who says he befriends the billionaire neighbor next door. And they spend their time, reading books. They chat on their phones. And the man dies and is buried with his phone. And they're still talking. So interesting. Oh, I'm so excited for this. On Thursday, the new Paramount Plus movie, Monster High, the movie. I used to watch the little show. I even dressed up as one of the characters.
I knew there was the toys. I didn't know there was a show.
There was a little cartoon show. So this is the movie.
She was an adult. Just so y'all know this.
Yeah, I don't care.
Go back up that one because that's kind of big release.
Okay, coming out also this week is Terrifier 2.
I just watched it.
It is about a creepy, sinister clown that comes back to town and wreaks havoc on the local population.
Terrifier 2 is actually the 3rd appearance of Art the Clown.
Oh, gosh.
Which All Hallows Eve, which is an anthology movie, has Art the Clown as first appearance. And then they did Terrifier, and today I did a marathon of Terrifier 1 and 2.
Oh my, I'm not okay with that. All right. Coming out also, this is still Wednesday on Peacock. It is a new series called A Friend of the Family. This is going to be one you're going to want to watch. So it's about a family, and their daughter, Jan, gets kidnapped multiple times by the creepy stalker neighbor next door. Okay. And then it says that the family is unprepared by the tactics of the neighbor. He ends up driving them apart. And in turn, the daughter turns against them. So it's kind of like that weird Netflix thing.
I'm wondering if it's based off that.
I'm wondering. This is McKenna Grace, Anna Paquin. Yeah, it's based on Colin Hanks. So see if it's based on that Netflix series.
The Broberg family, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the Brobergs. Yeah. So what was that Netflix called? The Neighbor Next Door or something?
Yeah, something like that.
It's creepy. Like that guy, what he did with every single person in the movie. It was just like, ew. Check it out. Okay. Then let's go to the next movie coming out on Friday. I'm going to start at the bottom and work our way up so we don't miss anything. Coming out Friday to the theater or online. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Coming to Netflix Friday. The Redeem Team. This is a documentary about the 2008 men's basketball team journey to the Beijing Olympics. So I think that sounds pretty interesting if you're into basketball. Coming to video demand and digital, a movie called Pretty Problems. It's a couple that are having some problems, and they go on this little getaway to see if they can get it back together. And they meet some wealthy strangers that says that kind of turn their weekend and their lives upside down. Coming to Prime Video, the Prime Video movie of the week on Friday. It's a movie called Catherine Called Birdie. It is
I believe it's called Abducted in Plain Sight. And I'm pretty sure it is that
one. I'm
pretty sure that is the one about the mother and the father both had a sexual relationship with the kidnapper too.
It's so crazy. I'm thinking it's the same one. This is the other the new series. So we'll watch it. Okay. So Catherine Called Birdie. It's
I've been hearing crap
okay. It's this girl who needs to get married, and she starts turning away all the suitors and having issues. Coming out to Video Demand and Digital, Masking Threshold. This is a movie for you too. It's a man who has constant ringing in his ears, so he begins to try home remedies. But then he starts doing actual weird experiments on himself, and they become increasingly dark and macabre and disturbing experiments to cure his ringing in his ear. So I'm going to imagine there's scissors and things like you do, putting scissors in your ear.
You take that out of context. So like, I just stick scissors in my ears. I scratch my ears.
He does, but he says this goes in a sinister direction. So we're going to watch this.
I've been known to use a pair of scissors to scratch my inner ear before.
Wow. Okay.
My fingers are too fat.
The Netflix movie on Friday is called Luckiest Girl Alive. It's this lady who seemingly has everything. She has a great job, great clothes, everything's going good. But something happens, and it says her veneer of perfection and lies starts to break apart. So I'm assuming this is going to be one of those creepy downfall movies where she begins to crack. Then we mentioned this already, the new movie coming to Hulu, Hellraiser, the new version.
Which everybody's wondering, it's not a new addition to the franchise. It's a
new
reboot
movie,
of the original film. And this time it features a female. Jamie Clayton is playing, she's a trans female, I believe, is playing Pinhead, which people are always throwing a fit about. But if you've ever read the book, which is called The Hellbound Heart, it is described as a feminine voice and like an androgynous, androgynous visual look. So it was never meant to be a man.
Y'all, some of these Cenobites are cool. They still have my favorite one, which made me happy.
In case you don't know, I'm pretty sure Clive Barker is a gay man as well.
What?
I know.
So the Cenobites are cool. I hope you watch it so we can talk about it next week. Coming to Paramount Plus on Friday is a movie called Significant Other, and it is the story of a young couple who go on a backpacking trip, and they seem to start sensing a weird presence, and the lady starts acting weird. And then another couple finds her, and they're asking, what happened? Where have you been? And how do you end up here? And she's like, I don't remember. And slowly things start to unfold. And
sounds like our honeymoon.
It sounds creepy. So I think we need to watch it. It looks like a creepy movie. Then coming to theaters, I'm so excited for Lyle Crocodile. It's based on the book, right? And it's about this family that has a crocodile living with them, but all the neighbors start complaining, he belongs in a zoo.
It's Paddington with crocodiles.
Correct. And then
Amsterdam was a big one.
Amsterdam, the big movie coming to theaters. It has everyone in the world: Margot Robbie, Robert De Niro, Christian Bale, David O. Russell, Anya Taylor-Joy, Michael Shannon, the bug guy, and Mike Myers. And it's basically the story of two soldiers and a nurse who become best friends in Amsterdam, and they vow to be best friends to the end. Well, craziness ensues when they get back home, and they have to figure out how are they going to get out of this, because it's, I think, a plot of murder is afoot, and they have to figure out how to solve the mystery, I guess.
I was reading an interesting story about Chris Rock's in the movie as well, and Christian Bale is a big fan of Chris Rock. And they said Chris Rock, the director, I guess, had Chris Rock telling stories to Christian Bale. Christian Bale finally had to say, I can't talk to you anymore. He's like, because he's a method actor. And he goes, he just had him laughing too hard. He couldn't focus on being the character anymore.
Creepy character.
So he's like, he had to start avoiding Chris Rock. It was funny.
Because Chris Rock, I'm sure, would just crack you up at anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so funny. So it looks like a crazy fun movie.
Look at the David O. Russell movie, which is...
Yeah, it is.
One of those... I love his movies.
It's like a lot of twists and turns to get to the story. It seems really fun. So I hope you've seen that one. All right, that's what's happening. Hold on, because I think there's also some movies coming out on Sunday, next Sunday before the show. Mortal Kombat Legends Snowblind.
It's a new addition to the animated feature series.
There you go.
This is the third.
This looks gross. There's so many gross little. When does that Smile movie come out? I'm waiting on that.
It's already out.
It is?
This weekend. There is a review for it.
Better go right now.
There's a review on our page for it.
Okay, I'm going to go find it.
One of our correspondents.
That's right. Thank you, correspondents.
Michael got to see an early screening of it. So why did you click on screen?
Because I'm sharing. I'm sharing everything that we talked about.
He got to see it. So he kindly sent us a review.
Thank you. So go read our review. HollywoodMatrimony.com. I'm so scared and excited at the same time. I can't stand it.
So contests we have some new stuff up.
Hold on.
I know. I'm waiting on you.
Thanks, babe.
Oh, they're all out of order. Okay. You put everything.
Oh no, I put this because I put the wrong screen up. No, I didn't.
You put them in a different order than what's on here. You end up.
Oh no, I'm missing a slide.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll just go into it. So we have some of the stuff we've had. I'll tell you what's on the screen right now that you're obviously seeing already.
Sorry.
So we have copies of DC's League of Super Pets, as well as the Joe Coy movie Easter Sunday. Now, the Joe Coy Easter Sunday one, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to have either digital copies, Blu-ray copies, or possibly both. So that one may have a lot more options to win. We also have copies of... I know I was going to do the next ones you have a picture of, and I'll throw the other one at the end. We also have copies of The Lost Boys on 4K to give away, as well as a new movie called They Crawl Beneath, which is another creature feature that is coming out next week. They didn't have that on my list. It just dawned on me. We'll talk about that if we have a show next week. And then also still have copies of Poltergeist on 4K, as well as Pre-Man Silent Fury, which is an Indonesian action flick.
There you go. It. All right.
Certain somebody is traveling.
I'm traveling next week, but I'm going to try to. I think we can still have a show.
We don't know yet. We're going to see if we can work out the logistics.
I don't know what I'll be doing at this time.
Yeah, we don't know what she's going to be doing. We also don't know. We got to make sure that we can logistically make it work. So it may look like everybody else's show where we're in screens, not in the same place. So I might be able to do the show without my pants on.
Through the mystery of magic.
Yeah. So I'll post if we're going to actually have the thing later. Either way, make sure you check our website,
HollywoodMatrimony.com.
So we will have reviews still going up this week.
Yeah, don't you worry.
Terrifier 2, for Hellraiser, for Lao Lao Crocodile, for a lot of the different stuff that we would normally talk about this week. So we don't have a show. Those reviews will still go up this week.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Click that contest button so you can get all the free stuff. Make sure you go like and share. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
And also, if we don't have our show, just as a quick reminder, don't forget that there's the new it's Fan Expo. What are they calling it? Hold on, let me get to it real fast. I did not have it prepared as I was being. Fan Festival, Dallas Fan Fest. Fan Expo is putting on the Dallas Fan Festival, which is essentially just a convention where it's got a lot of different celebrities and stuff that's going to be happening on October 14th to the 16th. So if we're not here next week, I'm telling you now, so you can go out there and find your favorite celebrities. It's kind of like an old one-off show.
Nice.
You can go check it out at fanexpo.com or whatever their website is.
All right. We will see you next week, hopefully. If not, don't worry. We'll be back.
Peace and love, children.